I'm doing a live stream celebrating 1,700 subscribers. So first of all, I just want to thank all of you who come and visit this channel and who support it, who give the thumbs up. It's really been a lot of fun to do this channel. I really like playing all the records for you guys. So it's taken a long time to kind of build this channel up, and it's still very small compared to a lot of the other ones. I like focusing on new releases. So as you guys know, I'm really a big jazz fan, and a lot of the reviews that I do are jazz records, but I like to do working jazz, uh, to review people that are putting out records now, working jazz musicians. And so I really started to focus on that. It's been a lot of fun because I've been able to talk with a lot of wonderful musicians, and it's been a lot of fun to talk with these people that have come on the channel and have given their time to come on and have a great conversation and talk about their records and things like that. So I've really had a lot of fun doing that. So that's really kind of taken the channel in yet another direction. So it's kind of to me, this channel is kind of a niche type of channel where I'm going to expose you to a lot of records you're probably not going to learn about, because I really do a lot of digging and I spend a lot of time listening to modern releases. And when I hear ones that I really like, I purchase them. So it's yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So I appreciate you guys coming on the channel and celebrating this with me. Leave your comments. So also, I do want to let you guys pick my next channel, or my next record to review. So what I want to do is let you guys leave comments, and I want you guys, it doesn't matter whether it's on this video or on another video. So if you happen not to see this one, or you didn't comment on this one, I definitely want you guys to leave your comments and let me know what records you want me to review. I just got my final first payout on YouTube. It's taken years now. So one of the reasons is, since I play the records, a lot of them get demonetized. So I don't get paid for most of the videos. 90% of the videos on this channel are demonetized, which is fine. This is a hobby for me, and but it is kind of cool to get a little bit of money. I just got $123, and it's taken like 5 months for that to accumulate, since the channel has been monetized. It takes you a long time to actually build up to where you can actually monetize the channel, where you can get any money. So anyways, I'm gonna let you guys pick what you want me to review next. So leave your comments, please, and either in the live chat or in the comment section, and give me some suggestions on what you want me to buy with the 123 bucks. It can be any genre, any it doesn't matter what it is. So I'll be happy to take suggestions from you guys. So this is a celebration of 1,700 subscribers, and again, I appreciate you guys coming on the channel. I know that a lot of the records that I review, again, are kind of obscure, and a lot of people don't know about them. I know a lot of people are focused on the reissues, all the cool things that are coming out. Again, this is probably the height of the reissue era. So, with Blue Note putting out all their stuff, you got Acoustic Sounds, Chad over there putting out wonderful new reissues, and they all sound fantastic. I'm subscribing to the Atlantic 75th series, which you guys probably know about, and I review all of those. But I really have been focusing on just doing modern jazz records, recordings, and they sound fantastic. One of the things that really amazes me is how good these modern records are sounding, and a lot of them you would mistake for analog recording. And I really had a really nice conversation with Simon Phillips, who was nice enough to come on the channel. That was a really big deal for me to have him on, because he's one of my favorite musicians, one of my favorite drummers, and also a wonderful recording engineer. And so when I picked up some of his latest releases, I was blown away by how good they sounded. And so I sent Simon an email and he was nice enough to reach back out and wanted to come on the channel and talk about engineering. How do you make a digital recording sound analog? And so that was a great conversation, and it kind of stirred up a lot of comments. Some people were kind of rude, leaving comments on the channel, which you get that, you know, that's how it is. But for the most part, people that come on the channel are very nice, and you guys leave a lot of great comments and a lot of good information. So I appreciate you guys leaving the comments, even if you disagree with something I say. That's fine. So tonight I'm just hanging out. I do want to show you some new records that I purchased, talk about some new releases, see what you guys think. For example, the new Blue Note box set. So I'm still on the fence about it. I was going back through the last one that I purchased, the second box set. And I was going back through it because it's been a while since I've listened to it. And I'm trying to decide if I want to buy the new one. Now, for me, these are really nice box sets. This is, you know, really, you know, the box is really nicely done. You have, I think, in this one is, I think, 4 records, if I'm not mistaken. For me, I don't like a lot of trinkets and stuff in my box sets. If I'm spending 200 and something bucks, you know, I don't really, these magazine kind of booklets for me, I mean, they're kind of hit and miss. They're kind of cool, but you know, when you look at the amount of money you're spending and they're on this kind of, to me, cheap paper, I don't know. And the new one looks like it's the same thing. It's got kind of this magazine with the stitching type thing. It's okay. But when I'm spending 200 some odd dollars on a box set, I kind of really want a nice booklet that kind of comes with maybe the Resonance Records type reissues. To me, I would kind of rather have that than have these kind of cheap paper, newspaper type things. That's just my opinion. I'd rather have one nice booklet in there than have 2 booklets for one. I want more vinyl. I do like the pictures they put in this last box set. So they did put the, you know, they put these nice pictures in there. So I do like these. I think these are kind of cool. You can frame these. So stuff like that, I don't mind. I kind of like that stuff. But what I don't care for are like the cards, the little trading cards, stuff like that. I hate that crap. So for me, I just don't. To me, it's just like junk, like trinkets. I know some people disagree with me, but to me, it's like you're going to look at them one time and then it's going to go back in the box and you're never going to look at it again. That's my opinion. So I'd rather take some of the trinkets out and give me another slab of vinyl or something. You know, they did a nice job with this the last time, with the main record here. And this is a pretty nice, you know, jacket and everything. So this is the kind of stuff that I like. Then it came with, you know, 2 regular kind of releases. So, I mean, this is a pretty nice box set. You got 4 pieces of vinyl. Then you got the trading card thing, which again, and you got this little Blue Note cleaner, little brush thing. It's like, okay, I mean, it's okay. But, you know, again, it never gets used. It gets stuck in the box. And then it came with a CD as well, which, you know, I could take it or leave it. So to me, I would rather get rid of, in this last box set, to me, I would say ditch the CD, ditch the trading cards, ditch the brush, and give me another slab of vinyl. And I'd rather have it, instead of 2 little magazine booklets, I'd rather have one nice booklet. So that's kind of my assessment of the last one. Now the new one is a Lee Morgan box set. So I was looking at it, and I'm still on the fence about buying it. So let me know what you guys think. Are you guys going to purchase the new Blue Note box set? So I'm pulling it up here now just to take a look at the it. The Blue Note review is what it's called. And this is the third one, and it looks like there's the main record is going to be the same as this one. You've got two other kind of a regular classic looking cover, Sonic Boom, and then but it looks like they've got like a cheap live disc that looks like it's just in a cheap paper sleeve. And then you've got your magazine booklet thing. So, and a CD is in there. I don't think there's as many. Let me see what else is in here. So you got basically Truly Madly by Lee Morgan, which is going to be two records. Sonic Boom. You got a 45 in there, and then you've got an unreleased live jam at the Gate of Horn in Chicago. So as far as music goes, I think that this looks pretty cool. Whether or not I want to spend the money on this when I've got tons of Lee Morgan stuff to listen to, that's another story. So right now it's going for $225. So you're going to get two LPs for the new album, a 10-inch vinyl release of the Gate of Horn live jam session. That's a 10-inch. Then you get an all analog 12-inch of Sonic Boom, and then a 45 RPM. And then there's a Blue Note 45 adapter. You've got a two lithographs, it looks like, of Lee Morgan, and then the magazine. So I'm glad they got rid of the trading cards and that kind of trinket stuff. Whether or not $225 is worth three 12-inch records and a 10-inch and a 45, I'm not sure. I'm kind of on the fence about it. So also you've got Miles Davis box sets that have been coming out, those bootleg series. I don't know if you guys have picked those up. I'd be interested to hear your opinion on that. There's still some of those I'd like to have. So yeah, those are some of the new things I'm looking at getting. I wanted to show you some new vinyl purchases while we're hanging out that I just recently picked up, and then some of the upcoming reviews I'm going to be doing. So also a couple books you guys may be interested in that I've been talking about is At the Vanguard of Vinyl. This is a really cool book, and it really talks about how jazz music changed the LP, how it really revolutionized the LP and brought it into what it is today, even before rock music did. So it talks about how jazz did unique things in the studio, started doing all the editing, even live records. George Avakian, for example, at Columbia was one of the first to do any extensive editing or overdubs on live albums. Anyway, this is a lot of great information in here, and you'll learn a lot about the evolution of the LP in this, as well as jazz's influence on the LP. So it's called At the Vanguard of Vinyl by Darren Mueller. So I do recommend picking this up. A lot of cool information. This also, Three Shades of Blue. I finished this book up not long ago. Fantastic. I really like this. Really traces Miles Davis, Coltrane, Bill Evans. Kind of starts off talking about their lives and then how they converge together to make Kind of Blue, and then kind of how they go their own ways after that. So it's a pretty cool book, very well written, but you move through it pretty quickly. So even though it's a pretty thick book, it's a really easy read in a sense, and there's a lot of great information in it. So if you're looking for like a few biographies in one, you don't want to read a whole biography about one person, this is kind of a nice book there to pick up. And I've just got this new one in called Good Vibrations. So I'm always very interested in record production, record engineering, how they got records to sound the way they sound. I like to record my own music. So I just picked up this book that's kind of a history of that. And it's called Good Vibrations, and it's a 1998 edition of a 1996 book. But it's got some pretty cool pictures in here, and it goes through kind of the evolution of record production. So I love reading this kind of stuff. So anyways, those are just some of the books that I have here that are pretty good. So again, leave your comments if you're just joining. Let me know what record you want me to review. Again, I just got my first $100 payout from YouTube. It's taken years now to get my $100, but that's okay. But I'm gonna just put that back in the channel and buy a record or two. You guys let me know what you want me to purchase. So if there's anything out there that you want me to do a review of, leave it in the comments or leave it in the live chat. And I appreciate that because I want you guys to participate in the channel. And I appreciate you guys leaving your comments. All right, so used records. I did pick these up in the $3 bin. Dinah Washington, pretty cool record. It was kind of dirty over here at a record shop we have here in Birmingham, Alabama called Sacd Records. So if you're ever in this area, it's pretty much we have basically maybe two record stores in Birmingham. Sacd Records is probably the biggest. And they have like a $3 section. Sometimes digging through there, you'll find some pretty cool things that, you know, there might be a record that looks kind of dirty and it's stuck in there and the cover might be not in perfect shape. But I'm a big Dinah Washington fan. I love her vocals. And this one was kind of dirty and, you know, stuck in the sleeve. But when I looked at it closely, it looked like it was in pretty good shape. And I brought it home tonight and cleaned it off really well, and it sounds pretty good. It's just a little bit of surface noise here and there. So for still some gems out there to pick up for $3, that's kind of nice. This was another one. Big Carmen McRae fan. Again, the jacket is kind of along the seams. It's kind of coming through. The record was pretty dirty, but when I took a chance, I couldn't really tell what kind of shape it was in. From looking at it, but it looked like it was just kind of dirty. And again, I brought it home for $3. I took a chance on it. It was one of them that I didn't have, and took it home, cleaned it off, and it plays pretty good. There's just a little bit of surface noise here and there. So another good $3 find. Sunny Stitt with strings. Picked this up used. I think this was $5. It's in pretty good shape. It's a gatefold. So I figured I'd show you this. I'm a big Sunny Stitt fan, but this is a pretty cool, pretty nice sounding album. All Ellington tunes, and if you like Ellington, it's pretty cool. Pretty nice sounding record, and for $5, pretty nice. So there's still some deals to be had out there in the used record section. Jelly Roll Morton. This was also $3. RCA Victor. I love Jelly Roll Morton. This one again was one of those ones that you couldn't tell what kind of shape the record was in, but it's in pretty nice shape. It's almost like brand new actually, and it's on the that purple Victor label. So pick that up again for $3. And I think it has the original RCA Victor sleeve in there too, which I like having those in there. So let me know also what you guys think about the deal with the old poly sleeves, because I don't know if you guys have seen some of the videos of people that have records in those old poly sleeves and they get like a film on the record. Let me know what you guys think about that, and if that's, I was thinking about that. I hope that the material they're using on these new poly sleeves are better. And I've had a couple that I got that had those old poly sleeves in them, and the poly sleeves were coming apart. they were actually flaking apart, and some of them was stuck to the record, and I had to get it off the record. They were used records that I purchased. So let me know what you guys are experiencing with that and what you think about poly sleeves in general. I pretty much put all mine in poly sleeves for the most part, unless they're old records and they're kind of scratched up. I'll keep those in the paper sleeves. But let me know what you think about that. This is another one. This was, I think, a $5 record, Laura Nyro, this is actually a pretty cool record. I like her vocals, and it's a pretty cool album, I think. I've got a few of hers. I didn't have this one, so for $5, the Columbia label. Pretty nice sounding record. It's got just a little surface noise. So for $5, it's a pretty nice find, I think. I'm going to go ahead and show you some the new releases that I've reviewed here recently in case you guys missed them. A lot of great jazz music coming out. Before I get to that, I do want to show you this cool record. I'm a big Rory Gallagher fan, as you guys probably know. I did a review of the latest BBC 3-album set that just came out recently. But I'm a big Rory fan, and I'm actually reading, I don't know where it is, I'm reading a biography on Rory Gallagher and on his later years. And I didn't know that he was on this album, and I don't know, this was a epic record release called Box of Frogs. I think they made at least this one and one other release. Well, it's kind of cool because they have they have Jeff Beck on here who plays on several tracks. You've got Rory Gallagher on here that plays on like 2 tracks. It's a pretty cool sounding record. It's kind of has maybe a bit of an 80s bluesy rock flavor to it. But if you guys are big Rory Gallagher fans like I am, I'm one of those people that if I like a certain artist, I try to find what albums they played on and try to get as many as I can. So this was pretty cool. I found this on eBay, and for a change, it was rated as a very good plus, and it was actually a very good plus album. So as you guys know, eBay is hit and miss sometimes. And the best gauge that I've found for buying records on eBay, and you let me know what you guys think. What I do is I look at how they grade the cover. And if they grade the cover wrong, I know they're probably going to grade the vinyl wrong. So what I do is I look on there, and if they've got very good plus on the cover, and the cover's all beat up, or the cover has writing on it or bent corners, and it looks, and they're grading it a very good plus, then I know that they're gonna grade the vinyl wrong. So that's one of the gauges I use now, because usually if the cover's graded wrong, the vinyl's graded wrong. So I'm finding that I'll go on there, and a very good plus cover can have a little bit of wear on it, but if it's got writing on it, that automatically takes it down a notch. So a lot of records, they'll have writing on it, writing on the back. They'll look kind of beat up with a ring, something like that, and they've got very good plus on it. Then I know that I'm probably not going to buy anything from them. So let me know how you guys kind of gauge that. Let's talk about new releases. So there are some great new jazz releases that have come out. I just did this Charles Lloyd review. This is a fantastic record. So this was on my wish list, and I keep a running wish list. It's pretty big. I never have enough money to buy all the ones on my wish list at once. So I keep a running list on Amazon and on a couple of other websites. And then I'll keep an eye on them. And if any of them go on sale, I'll put them to the front of the list, and I'll try to pick those up because there's just too many for me to be able to buy. So anyway, make a long story short, this one finally went on sale on Amazon over maybe a couple weeks ago, and I picked this up, and it's No, actually, this one I'm sorry, I got this one on the Blue Note website. They had a sale on the Blue Note website about a week and a half ago, and they had the signed editions, which comes with a card and it's signed. So if you go back and watch my review of this, you'll see what I'm talking about. But this is a fantastic sounding album. This is a nice jacket, you know, typical Blue Note. They do a nice job with their stuff, and this is a legendary recording. This is going to be one for the books, I think. One thing I was a little leery on was the blue vinyl. So whenever you do the direct to customer Blue Note buys, they're on this blue vinyl, but it's a transparent blue. And so what I'm learning after watching some different YouTube videos is that the transparent colored vinyl is usually better quality than the opaque. Anyways, these were pretty good sounding pressings, and the music on it is just incredible. This is definitely going to be a classic, and it's amazing to have him around still. And he's like in his mid 80s making these unbelievable records. So this one definitely put on your list if you don't have it. And this is one you're going to have to listen to over and over again. You're not going to pick everything up on a first passing, on a first listen on this. There's just no way. There's just too much going on. Let me show you some others I just picked up. I did reviews on it. If you guys missed this Balancing Act by Rasmus Sorensen, wonderful album. On the April Records label, this is a great trio piano record. Young jazz musicians on here, absolutely wonderful. So if you guys missed my review on this, go back and check it out, or go have a listen. Just pull it up on Amazon Music and have a listen. I think you're going to dig it if you like piano trios, kind of straight ahead type jazz, kind of Bill Evans-esque type thing. Really cool record. If you don't have this and you like jazz vocals, unbelievable. Pressing on this, I had a little surface noise here and there. It wasn't the greatest pressing, but I bought this at the show when she came. Unbelievable performer, unbelievable singer. This is a great record, kind of mellow, but she's got the chops. I mean, she can really belt it out, and she can go from this to this, either in steps or gradually. Her vocal range is astounding. So yeah, I would definitely check this out. Again, it's kind of more of a mellow record, even though there's a couple of up-tempo tunes on it. But it's definitely one to kind of kick back, spend an evening, grab your beverage type of album. Really, really nice. On the Cellar Live label, they've been putting out a lot of great stuff, and they've got more stuff coming out that I'm really excited about. This Charles Chen album, again, this is great piano playing. You've got a quartet here, him playing piano. You've got saxophone player here, and then you've got Peter Washington and Kenny Washington, that legendary rhythm section on this album. And I love the cover. I like the, the front and the back. Pretty nice jacket, nice piece of vinyl. This is a good pressing so far. The recent pressings that have been coming out of the Cellar label out of Canada, and hopefully I'll be having Corey Weeds, the owner of the of Cellar, on here again maybe in a week or two, so to have a conversation about some of the recent releases and some of his upcoming releases. So I'm really excited about what's coming out on their label. And again, this is a wonderful record, both sonically and musically. If you missed this, I just did this a couple days ago. To me, this is one of those kind of archival. It's an archival release. It's not really a reissue. This album here, Hip Holland, jazz from the Netherlands between 1950 and 1970. This is a fun, really cool record. Kind of straight ahead bebop, West Coast cool jazz type thing going on here by all kinds of different musicians from the Netherlands. Check out the gatefold. This is a really nice pressing, quiet pressing. Of course, the sonic quality varies based on what particular recording it was taken from, because all these were taken from different albums. And I like the way they laid this out with all the liner notes here on the inside and on the back. And then you've got all of the tracks explained which album they came from and what year, and they're pretty detailed explanations. So I really recommend this. I've never heard any of the stuff that was on here. I went online and listened to a couple of tracks, and I was like, man, this is some pretty cool stuff. And anyways, I did a full review on this, needle drop review. Go back and check that out. And it kind of gave a little bit of history of jazz in the Netherlands, which I didn't know a whole lot about. So I did some research on it, and that's on the review that I did of this. So I do recommend checking this out. I don't know how many of these were made, but I don't think it's probably going to be a very popular one. So you might want to look at picking it up if it's something you're interested in. And again, something completely different than the other types of archival releases. All right, another new modern jazz record that I did a review on. The Stefan Holland and the Rhythm Hunters. This dude is a monster on drums. I'd never heard of him. Again, it's one of these late night discoveries, going on and listening to different new jazz releases. This one just came out. It's on the Challenge Records international label, made in the Netherlands. Recorded in 2023. This just came out a few weeks ago. This is an awesome record. I did a full needle drop review on this one. You should go check it out. It's some fantastic playing on here. I can't pronounce half the names on here. I'm terrible at pronouncing people's names. But it comes in a nice anti-static sleeve. And then it also has a insert that has the band, and then it has a write-up on the tracks and some liner notes. So pretty cool album. If you like modern jazz, and again, the Stefan, he's the drummer, unbelievable playing. So to me, this kind of stuff excites me. It's, there's a lot of great new jazz coming out that's just getting missed and nobody knows about. And so, I just look at it as if one other person finds out about it and buys the record, then I'm happy. So another cool release there. One of my favorites of the year on the JoJo label, and I've got some interviews coming up too that I'm excited about with two guitar players on the JoJo label. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute, and I just want you guys to put it on your calendar. Every Sunday at noon, I've been putting out, probably for the past 14 weeks already, I've been putting out new conversations with jazz musicians that I've done reviews of their records on. And have two more coming up. One coming up on Sunday. I'll tell you about it. And one following Sunday I've got done already. And hopefully I've got some other people lined up here that will be putting on the channel. But this particular album was the first one that I bought on the JoJo Records label, Mimiko Watanabe. This is an awesome record. I mean, the piano playing on this is fantastic. It's a trio record. Billy Hart on drums, Santi Debriano on bass. They can both play. They are awesome. But you've got a couple of her own tunes on here, and then you've got some standards. This is an awesome album. And sonically, if I told you this was an analog record, you would probably believe it because it sounds that good. So I do recommend getting your hands on this and checking this out. I don't know how many of these are being made. Most of these small record labels that I've been in contact with, they're not making that many. They're making usually 300 to 500 pressings, some less. So most of these small releases that I'm reviewing, most of them, there's not that many made. And usually once they're gone, they're gone. Now, I'm not sure if they'll do repressings or what, but As far as the pressings go, they're fairly limited compared to some of the others. So if you want them, I would grab them. So here we go. We got two more on JoJo Records that I want to talk about. First of all, this Sunday coming up, Tom Silverstein. So I did a full needle drop review on this. This is an awesome album. Great album for those new to jazz. Great album for those who are already big fans of jazz, because you've got Tom Silverstein, of course, playing guitars, John Patitucci on bass, Billy Hart on drums, and then on two songs, you got legendary George Coleman on tenor saxophone. These are all standards. And the record, again, if I told you it was analog, you would probably think it was analog. These are well recorded, well mixed and mastered, fantastic. And the guy that's doing these, his name is Andreas Mayer out of New York. He's doing a lot of these productions for JoJo Records, and they sound amazing. I think they really rivals the old analog recordings. These sound wonderful. A lot of detail, a lot of warmth and depth to these records on the JoJo label. And anyways, coming up this Sunday, you'll see a conversation that I had with him about playing jazz guitar. He talks about the jazz scene in New York City. He talks about the jazz language, learning it. He also teaches guitar as well. He has students. And then he also goes into how this record was made and how it came together. So I definitely recommend checking out that. If you're into, the whole purpose to me of this, having these guys on, first of all, I love talking to them, but also that there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of information on what it takes to be a jazz musician, what it takes to put a record like these together. To me, it fascinates me. So I hope that you guys are enjoying these. The following Sunday, so this Sunday you got your Tom coming on. The following Sunday is Emos Hoffman. So he's going to be coming on the channel. And I'll be posting that the following Sunday. Again, Sundays at 12 o'clock p.m. I'm putting those up. He was a lot of fun to talk to. He plays the guitar and the oud. And this is a really unique jazz record because it has this Middle Eastern flavor to a lot of the songs that he plays the oud on. So it's very unique. Again, this is one of those records that was recorded, mixed, and mastered by this Andreas Mayer out of New York City. It sounds fantastic. It's a wonderful audiophile recording. It sounds wonderful. So stay tuned. Put those on your calendar, and I think you're going to enjoy these interviews or conversations, as I like to call them. I always, whenever I meet up with them online, I always tell them this is not an interrogation, so I try to make it as conversational as I can. And we get into a lot of cool topics, and a lot of them are not what's on my sheet. I kind of have like a sheet there that I have my interview questions on. And a lot of times I won't get to all my questions, but just because of the way the conversation goes and the different things we get into discussing. But I have other people hopefully lined up here that we'll be doing soon. Another one of the Blue Note purchases that I recently did when they had that sale with the signed versions was this awesome album. And that Charles Chen record that I just showed you has the same rhythm section on here as this has, and that's Peter Washington and Kenny Washington, which Bill Charlap has been playing with for years. But this is a fantastic trio record live at the Vanguard. And again, I got the signed version, so it came with the signed card, which I'm going to get frames to put those in. And then again, this one comes with, instead of a blue vinyl, this one came with a red vinyl. And this one had just a little bit of surface noise. It's a pretty good pressing. Again, all things being equal, I'd rather have a black pressing, but this is a really nice record. Again, audiophile quality for the live recording. It's done very well. I mean, it's a live recording, but the way it was recorded, it just sounds really good. So if you're into live jazz, I do recommend getting your hands on this one. I don't think there's any more of the signed versions left. So again, it was one of those direct to customer type of deals. All right, now we got some new ones coming up. I'm just going to show you a few. I've got more in the other room. So here's 4 new releases that I'll be doing in the next week, probably these 4. And I've got a Chet Baker one around here somewhere, or it's over here. Okay. Anyway, I'll be doing this Charles McPherson on the Smoke Sessions label. So again, there's going to be a lot of these you're probably not going to see elsewhere. So I'll be opening this up, doing a needle drop on this. Of course, he's a legend. He's also playing with Terrell Stafford on here, who's an awesome trumpet player. Billy Drummond on drums, David Wong on bass, Jeb Patton on piano. So I'm excited. I've been listening to this on streaming in my car, and it's a pretty cool sounding album. So I'm excited about that. The great bass player, Abishai Cohen. This is his new one, just hot off the press. I'm excited about this one. I've been listening to this as well, streaming. And this is on the Naive label, the first one that I've done on that label. So I can't wait to play this and let you guys hear this. I'm excited about this. So, and then we have out of Cellar Records, the new Miki Yamanaka album. I'm really looking forward to this. I've listened to just a couple of tracks off of this online. Haven't had a chance to really digest it yet. When I listened to the first couple of tracks, I was just automatically drawn by this album, by those 2 songs. And there I purchased this record, and I'll be doing a live review of this, playing it for you. So looking forward to that. And again, hopefully I'll be having Corey Weeds, the founder and owner of Cellar. Hopefully he'll be on the channel again, and we're going to have a conversation and talk about some of these new records that I've just reviewed, and we're going to talk about some upcoming albums, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this for you guys. Again, leave your comments. Let me know what you guys want me to buy with my first $100. I finally got it, so leave your comments. Tell me what you want me to actually review. If there's a certain album you want me to buy that I don't have, that you want me to review, I'll purchase it based on your request. So leave it in the comments or leave it in the live chat. And it doesn't have to be this video. You can leave it on any of the videos. Just tell me what you want me to review. Okay, and I've also just got this in. This was on sale on Amazon. I think it was like 20% off. This is out of that Barclay series. French. These were originally French releases. This is always also made in France. I think this is part of the Deca label, Deca Records releases. So there's 3 different volumes of this Chet Baker series. I'm not a huge fan of Chet Baker's singing. He's not my favorite jazz vocalist, but I love his trumpet playing, and I really love his early playing. So like this is from the 50s here. I think this is 1955. And again, there's 3 in this series. I do want to definitely get the second one. I'm not sure if I'll get all 3 or not, but I've been listening to this online. I like the way it sounded, so I went ahead and picked this up when it was on sale. Again, keeping my running list. If I see something on my list that goes on sale, that's, I'll purchase it, and that's kind of the only way I can kind of keep up with all the stuff that I want. So the jacket looks like it's kind of average, but I'm interested to see how this is going to sound on vinyl. Again, these are old recordings, so I'm not expecting it to be like a audiophile type sound, but I'm really excited about this, and this is the kind of Chet Baker stuff I like. So all right, so there's a little recap. Again, more interviews coming your way. Trying to schedule up some other ones, and I'm trying to just keep them coming once a week, every Sunday at noon. And it's been keeping up, so I've been able to keep lining up musicians, and they've all been a lot of fun to talk to, and they've all been very informative about, answering all the questions that I have for them, and then telling about how they made all these cool records. So I hope you guys are enjoying those. I think that's all I got for tonight. I appreciate you guys jumping on and joining me. And again, let me know what you guys want me to get for my next reviews, and let me know if you're going to purchase that Blue Note set, the new one. So I'm still on the fence about that. Dropping 225 bucks on a box set like that for me is kind of tough these days, especially when there's a lot of new upcoming releases that are coming out. And usually almost every week, there's almost at least 2 jazz new releases that I'm finding that are coming out that I want to get. And then I'm also buying that Atlantic 75th series every month, which can be 2 or 3 releases. So that can be 120 bucks or 180 bucks, depending on if they send 2 or 3 of those. So it can get kind of steep keeping up. I buy all the records myself. I've only had one company send me free records. So all these records I buy with my own money. And as things get more and more expensive, it gets harder to keep up. But I just love doing it as a hobby. And if it gets to a point where I can't keep up with new releases, I've got so many records here that I could make videos for the next 10 years and not have to buy another record. So I got a lot of stuff that I purchased over the last, well, I've been buying records since I was a kid and have never really stopped. So I've got a lot of records, and then a lot of the reissue Blue Note stuff I have yet to get to actually do a record drop on those. So that gives me a lot of other material for more videos. But also let me know if you have any ideas. Is there any kind of videos you guys want more of? Anything else that interests you that I might be able to do on this channel? Leave your comments. Again, I love hearing what you guys have to say. Enjoy hearing your thoughts, and I really appreciate most of all you guys just coming by the channel and giving the thumbs up and getting other people to subscribe, so hopefully they can hear all this cool new music. So I really appreciate you guys coming by and watching, and I thank you for the 1,700 subscribers. I was gonna do a video when I got to 1,000, and then I got busy, and then I was gonna do it when I got to 1,500, and then I got busy, and then once I finally got my first $100 the other day, so it took like 5 months for me to like accumulate $100 payout. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much money the channel brings in. And again, because when I do a needle drop, they get demonetized. So most of them don't see any monetization. It's only a video like this or something that I can get any kind of a monetization on, where there's no music being played. So, but I just, it's a hobby of mine. I love music. And I love discovering new albums and new releases by working musicians. It's just always how I've been since I was a kid. I was always one of the ones to find out the new heavy metal band or heavy rock band and go get it on cassette or CD. And man, you got to hear this new album. I'm still the same way now. It's just with albums like this, new jazz records. I'm just into jazz way more than I was, back when I was younger, even though I've always appreciated jazz. But for me, it's that rewarding, repeated listening experience that, in my opinion, you don't get with rock music. And as much as I like rock music, that's what I grew up on, I can only buy so many of those classic rock reissues because I own a lot of them on original pressings. And I'm getting to the point where, again, spending money. And let me know what you guys think about this, because I know a lot of people, the new Mobile Fidelity or Analog Productions or whatever, they come out with a new reissue on a classic rock record and people get all excited about it. But if you already own the original and you have a nice copy and you like the way it sounds, do you really need to buy another one? And so for me, with the Atlantic 75th, I didn't have a lot of those on record. I had, a CD or cassette that I had bought. When I was in high school, I had a ton of cassettes. I had in my truck, I'd have those double-sided cassette cases, if you guys remember those, where you'd have all your cassettes in there and you flip it over and it's kind of like a suitcase. I'd carry like 2 of those around with me in my truck. But I listened to a lot of those classic rock stuff back then. And again, I'm one of those people that doesn't stay stuck on something for very long, usually, even though I'll go back and listen to some of those occasionally. I bought a lot of those then again on CD. And if I didn't buy them on record when I was younger, then I didn't have like the Bad Company, for example. I had that on cassette and CD. Never had those on album. So when the Atlantic 75th was going to have those on there, kind of made sense. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll get those. They're going to sound really good. They're on 45 RPM. So I've been happy with those for the most part. That series has been very good. And it's worked out well for me because a lot of those, again, I didn't have on vinyl, most of them. So as far as like buying another copy of something that I've already got, like the new Police, for example, right? They put the new Police out. I have one of the original copies of that opaque purple looking. If you hold it up, you can see through it. It sounds phenomenal. It's like a fantastic sounding record on that original pressing. It's in pristine shape. Am I going to go spend 25 bucks or 30 bucks on a reissue for that? I'm not, I don't have the money to do that. So that's kind of my thoughts on a lot of the reissue stuff is if I already have it on another version, an OG, and I like it and I've got a clean pressing, I'm probably not going to buy it again. And the fact is, I don't listen to a lot of those old albums as much as I used to. So even like Led Zeppelin, I know that's the big one everybody wants. You know, everybody wants to have the Led Zeppelin come back out again. And Chad gets emails and gets comments all the time on Led Zeppelin. How many of those, if they put those out tomorrow, I know people would buy those up like hotcakes. People would, for me, would I buy all those? I probably wouldn't buy all of them because I've got some clean OG pressings that I like. I would probably buy a couple of them that are my absolute favorites, and that would probably be it. So because I wouldn't have $50 or $60 to spend on reissues for all those when there's so much new music coming out that I haven't heard. So I'm just kind of in that mindset where it's like, I don't listen to Led Zeppelin now very often. I don't go pull those old albums back out. I think the last time was probably 6 months ago that I pulled out a Zeppelin and I played two tunes that I was just wanted to hear that day off of In Through the Outdoor. I think I played that, a couple of songs off of that. So as far as buying those over and over again, I'm not really down with it anymore. Just for the financial, doesn't make financial sense, and it doesn't make collecting sense anymore because the older I get, I look around and I've got thousands of records here, and I'm like, well, I haven't listened to this record in I've got records I haven't listened to in 20 years. The other day I was going through organizing some of my rock records, and literally I was like, I haven't played this record since 1994. It's when I bought it. And there's a Tom Petty, I think I have it there. I haven't listened to that record in 20 something years. So when you start getting to that point, it's kind of like, okay, well, how many more am I going to buy? And am I going to buy duplicates of stuff that I already have that I don't listen to very often? Doesn't make a lot of sense. That's another reason that Chick Corea box set that I really want. I still want to get it. I think it's on Amazon for $235. It's on my list, but I've already got it on CD. And I listened to it when it first came out. Both of those trilogy albums are fantastic, and I'm still may buy that if I get some money somehow. But it's a reason why I haven't bought that because I already own it on CD, and they sound pretty good on CD. So am I going to go spend $225 just to have it on vinyl? That's kind of a tough sell right now, especially when I've got probably 2 jazz new releases coming out every week off of some jazz record label that I want to get. So I kind of have to make a choice. So I see some comments here. I buy more SACD now. That's another, I've got some SACDs. I have a Sony SACD. My Blu-ray player, that's a Sony Blu-ray player, does play the SACDs. So when I play those in my living room on a different setup than I listen to my vinyl on. And I like the way it sounds, but there's just something about spending $25. Sometimes you can get them cheaper, I know, but if if I'm going to spend 25 bucks, there's something psychologically that I can't do with a CD that I can do with a record. And that's just a psychological problem I have, I guess. For me, I'd rather spend 25 bucks and have the record. And I don't know, it's just the whole experience. You guys know who collect records. The whole experience of just, pulling it out and putting the record on and and the SACDs might sound better. A lot of times I'm sure they do because you don't have the imperfections to deal with that you have on vinyl. So I totally get that. And I'm not against having those. I really like the Blu-ray audio discs as well, which I think sound fantastic. If there's like a box set, like those Marillion box sets, the Jethro Tull box sets, those are awesome. And I will buy those. And those are usually like around 40 or 50, 60 bucks for those box sets. And you've got like 4 or 5 CDs and a couple Blu-rays in them. And they have 5.1 mixes and stereo mixes and sometimes more than one stereo mix. And then maybe live footage and that kind of stuff. I love those kind of box sets. And those I can spring for spend the 50 bucks on that. To buy one SAC for 25 bucks, it's just a little tough for me. I'm not saying I wouldn't buy them because I do have some, but they're not something that I buy all the time. And so yeah, and also with the SACD thing, I'd like to have a better system for for the digital type thing because I've got different setups in my house. I've got my listening room where I do those reviews from. I have a setup in there with that Fluence RT85 with that Ortofon Blue setup with the Yamaha HS8 speakers. And then I have a different setup in my kind of dining area where I've got a completely different setup. And then I've got one in here, actually, a turntable. You can probably see it back there. It's the Rega Planer one that's sitting behind me. And I have these clip speakers up top. And it's kind of more for when we hang out, have friends over, and we're going to have some beers or what have you and sit back here at the bar. I can throw a record on, and it doesn't have to be, hi-fi listening or anything like that. It's just, put on a record like the old days, and throw the record on. Everybody hangs out and listens to the record and talks and has their beverage. Yeah, exactly. So the SACD player that has SDS, not PCM translation, that's a good point. And again, that's something that I'm not really right at this point to spend money on because I haven't found a cheap SACD player. Most of the time they're like $400 or $500, and I'm just not gonna. I just don't have the money to spend on an SACD player and then go down that rabbit hole right now. It's just right now it's just not feasible for me. So yeah, I would definitely like to have. I wouldn't mind getting more into that, but financially, it's just not possible. I just had to actually. I just actually purchased a new cartridge and stylus for my Fluence RT85. Even though doesn't need one right now. It's probably got maybe 500 hours or something like that on that stylus, that Ortofon Blue. And those will go 1,000 hours if you take care of them. Make sure you clean them off. Make sure your records are clean. I don't play a lot of used records on that turntable that I do those reviews on. So on the Fluence RT85 with that Ortofon Blue, I pretty much play all new releases on that turntable. If I do play some of the used records, they're going to be in really good shape. So if you do play more worn records, it will wear your stylus faster. But the Ortofon is nice because you can get 1,000 hours of playing time on those. It's probably to me one of the best bargain for a mid-fi system. I think that, in my opinion, that you can get. I think I just bought another Ortofon Blue cartridge and the stylus together for $167 on Amazon. It was on sale. So I went and purchased that so I'd have a spare, another one. In case I start to have issues, I can put it on and I can break it in, put it on, and play some records through that, and then I can have one that I can compare with. So as you play more records and the stylus starts wearing, I wanted to have a brand new one that if I heard something that didn't sound right, I could pop it off and put the other head shell on with the other Ortofon Blue new one, and I can do a comparison. So I just purchased that. That way I can make sure that I've got another spare cartridge in stylus. So yeah. You know what? I don't have a problem. I see your comments here about only analog reissues. That to me doesn't concern me because some of these, again, um, if I this record here, if I told you this was an analog recording, this new release right here, if I told people that this was an analog recording, you didn't know better, and you put it on your turntable, I would almost guarantee you would be fooled. I'd almost guarantee it. I'm not against analog to analog. Obviously, those old recordings have a very special sound to them, but these new recordings are warm sounding. They have depth to them, they have warmth to them, and they have great detail. And they're doing a really good job on a lot of these new releases. So I'm not one of those people that won't buy a record because it's not sourced from an analog source. And if you saw the interview that I had with Simon Phillips on there, he explains why, and explains why the median, the original source is not necessarily the issue, whether it's digital or analog. If the digital is taken from a high quality source, and it's actually mixed right and it's recorded correctly, it can sound like an analog recording. So if you missed that interview with Simon Phillips, who I'm sure you guys probably know who he is, of course, more known for his extraordinary drumming abilities, but he is also one of the most experienced engineers in the business because he's been doing it since the mid 70s. So I got a lot of, not a lot, I got a few negative comments on that interview of naysayers that were basically dissing what he was saying. But I think he had a lot of valid points there, and the proof is in his recording. So if you guys saw my review on that Protocol 5 record, which Simon Phillips, that's his band, and he did all the, was involved in the engineering and the mixing of that, it sounds like an analog recording, and it's a modern rock kind of progressive jazz type of record. It sounds awesome. I mean, awesome. When he's playing the drums, the resonance off the drums, everything is so warm sounding. So I'm not one of those people that anymore, I kind of used to have that mentality where it had to be all analog, and otherwise it's not really worth having on vinyl. I don't think that's the case any longer. And again, it's a different sound on a vinyl record, even when it's sourced from digital. It's different than the CD sounds. If it's mixed and mastered for vinyl, which is what he's doing. Let me look at the comments here. Morant's turntable, yeah, that's nice. Jacob Went, Silver Street album. Let me write that down. No, I have not heard that album. So let me write that down. Again, I'm taking requests. So if you guys want me to review something specific, leave your request. Jacob Went, and Silver Street. Okay, I'll check it out. I love all these new recordings, these new jazz recordings. Oh, yeah, I love those Japan CDs too. I'm kind of a sucker for those. Kevin Graycut, okay. Yeah, I do like those Japan CDs too. Those just something about those. It's kind of like the Japan vinyl records to me with the OB strips. They just are kind of eye-catching or something about them, even though a lot of times those Japanese jackets will be thinner than some of them are really thin. But there's something about those that just are fun to collect. And I do keep an eye on those. I bought a bunch of Sonny Rollins records from Japan. And What I do with the Japan purchases, now one thing I like about the Japan purchases is they know how to grade their records. They don't screw around with. I've never had a problem getting bad graded records out of Japan. And there's two stores I usually buy from there. And when I do, I'll buy several of them. So I'll save up some money. I'll spend 150 bucks, something like that, so that they combine the shipping, and I'll get a bunch of records from Japan. And again, they don't. It's not like eBay where you get some buffoon putting a very good plus on a record that looks like it got drugged behind your car or something. I've had the worst luck on eBay. And now again, in order for me to judge whether or not I'm going to buy something off eBay, I look at the cover. And if they have graded the cover wrong, I don't even waste my time. If the cover's graded bad, they're not going to grade the vinyl right. So eBay has just been one of the worst. And I bought some stuff off Discogs and had the same issue on there. The people just don't, they always overgrade the records. So I'm interested definitely in checking out that Jacob Went album, Michael. So I'm definitely going to look at that. If anybody else has any requests, now's the time to put them in. What do you want me to review next? I finally made it that hurdle to the $100 earnings on YouTube, which since I think I monetized over 5 months ago, so it kind of gives you an idea of how much money the channel brings in, because most of the videos, as I said before, get demonetized because I do the needle drops. And as soon as you do a needle drop on any of these, they usually get completely demonetized. And every once in a while, if it's a smaller record company, sometimes they'll do some sharing revenue on it. So I might, you get like 20 cents or something for after you get, a couple hundred views or whatever. So you're not making a lot of money. But this channel is again about fun, loving music and loving to share music with you guys. And I love playing the records for you guys so that I can kind of give you my reaction, and you can hear what the record sounds like. If it's got a problem with it or a lot of noise on it, I'm gonna let you know. But all of my records I buy myself. So again, it's a hobby for me, and the fact that I've made $100 is kind of funny. I was like, man, I've made it now. I got $100, man. But it's fun for me, and I'm gonna put the $100 and buy some more records with it. So far I've only got one request. That's from Michael on the Silver Street album. So again, if there's anything you guys want me to review, and it doesn't have to be jazz. I'm not a jazz or a genre snob. I do listen to rock music. You guys, I reviewed Ozzy Osbourne album last week. So I definitely like to do different genres, but I'm just a big jazz fan. So a lot of the new stuff that I buy happens to be jazz. So getting back into metal, Robot God. I've never heard of Robot God. So that's a new one. I've not heard that. Anybody on now that's going to be getting the new Blue Note box set, the Blue Note Review Volume 3? Anybody getting that, or $225? Kind of curious who's going to be purchasing that. I'm still on the fence about it. I do like those box sets. They're really nice. But it's tough to drop $225 on those anymore. Bandcamp or YouTube. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Robot God on vinyl. It's not death metal, is it? I'm not a big death metal guy. I don't like the Cookie Monster vocals. I do like heavy metal though, depending on what it is. I'm still of course people will probably be like wouldn't call it heavy metal anymore, I guess, even though it's the real heavy metal like Megadeth, that kind of stuff I still listen to here and there. And I like a lot of new progressive rock stuff coming out as well, but I have not heard this Robot God, so I'll have to go look at that, see what that is. And it's on vinyl too, I see. So cool. I'm gonna write it down. We'll check it out. See what my $100 will buy. Usually these days, $100 doesn't go too far. Maybe I can get 2 or 3 albums. out of that. Okay, heavy, not satanic or death-ish. Okay. Yeah, yeah. The Cookie Monster vocals is kind of where I draw the line. Once it's that I can't do it. I like to have vocals I can kind of understand at least to some extent. But hey, if people are into that, that's cool. Marantz turntable, 1,800 bucks. Yeah, I'd like to have a better turntable as well. I do for the money. This channel is kind of not. This channel's not geared at like the hi-fi audiophile community. Really, um, I I love music from that perspective. I guess you could say I'm an audiophile. I like to get the best quality I can afford. But all the equipment I have is pretty much mid-fi equipment. But I think that, a lot of people that are into just listening to records or collecting records, they don't have, $10,000, $20,000 systems. So, for two, three, $4,000, you can put together a really nice sounding system for yourself. So that's kind of the price range. I have in my listening room that Fluence with the Ortofon Blue, going through the Ship Monty preamp into my Yamaha HS8 speakers. The speakers are really nice. Those are studio quality monitors. They give a really nice sound to them. The Fluence with the Ortofon Blue, again, that's just a mid-fi turntable, $500 turntable. And then the Ship Monty preamp is the best money can buy for 150 bucks, right? So even though there's a couple of things out now that I think that rival it. So anyway, yeah, I'd like to have more expensive stuff, but I think the stuff that I listen to it through is good enough. It's a good listening experience, and I think that anybody can relate to what I'm listening to because it's stuff that everybody can afford, and everybody should be able to afford to collect records and enjoy the music. $25,000 system, that's really nice. I wish I could buy that. I like guitars more. I'm the same way. You can see some back here on the wall. I got a couple of Gretches hanging on the wall back there. I do like guitars too, but I've also kind of come to the same conclusion with guitars that I find. I have actually I have a PRS sitting right here next to me. This right here, I play this like 90% of the time if I'm playing electric guitar. And so once I've got something I really like and I play it, then I'm kind of like, how many more guitars do I need? So I've got a bunch. I still probably have 12 or 13 guitars, something like that, between my electrics and my acoustics. But to me, once I get one I really like I love the way this plays. I love the dip switches on here with the pickup selection and all that kind of stuff. And I can get almost any sound I want out of this guitar. I love it. So, and then I'm on the acoustic side. I've got a pair of Martins that I play, and I love those. And then I have this Royal Resonator over here. And even though I've got like 5 other acoustic guitars, they never come out of their case. So I'm kind of not buying a lot of guitars anymore. Rufus Reed, I have not heard that either. So I'm writing all these down. Rufus Reed presents. Okay. What is that? Is that what kind of music is that, Michael? The Rufus Reed one. And that's on vinyl? Jazz? Okay. Cool. Well, I'll definitely write these down, and I'll be definitely I'll be getting at least one of these you picked out, and let's see if anybody else has any piano and stand-up bass vinyl. Okay, cool. I'll definitely be into checking that out. A lot of great stuff's coming out. If you guys, I don't know if you guys saw the Rhino Jocko album. Okay, that's I saw that when it came out not long ago. Um, um, Young, kind of like, oh, Bill Evans. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm definitely down for that. So I'll have to check that out. There's just so much great jazz coming out, and anyway, I was saying that I don't know if you guys saw the video that I did on 10 jazz record labels you should know. And there's I could do another video on 10 more jazz record labels you should know, which I'll probably end up doing. Because again, I'm doing these modern jazz reviews, and there's some new labels already that I'm discovering um, that I'll probably do a second video on that. But if you guys saw that, there's so many talented and great sounding albums coming out on these modern jazz labels, and they're small labels, but they're really doing a good job of recording these bands. They're, when they go in the studio, they're using high quality recording equipment, but they also know how to mix it and master it for vinyl. And some of these are just sounding really good. I'm really impressed, and a lot better than they used to be, in my opinion. Or so anyhow. Any more requests from anybody? I appreciate you guys hanging out again with me, and I don't do too many of these live streams. I'm never sure what time to do them, and a lot of people already have scheduled live streams that they regularly do on some other channels that I like, and so I don't schedule usually live streams at the same time they're doing them. Just um, but I try to do them once a week. But it's been a few weeks since I've done one, and I thought this would be a good time to celebrate 1,700 subscribers. I'm hoping to try to hit 2,000 by the end of the year. And again, I just hope more people discover a lot of this great music that's coming out, because as much as I love those old reissues, um, the people that are playing jazz now are the ones keeping it alive. And if we don't support that, to me, it's just kind of also cutting the legs off of the old stuff too, because as great as the old, those legends are, we've got new legends that are being created. Esperanza Spalding, yeah, she's really good. I listened to one of her records that I was thinking about purchasing it. It was a little on the mellow side than one I listened to. And here's another thing um, that it's all how that when you're listening to something, kind of what mood you're in and how that particular album strikes you. A lot of times I'll listen to something and it won't hit me, and then I'll go back and listen to it again 6 months later and it'll hit me. So I listen to a lot of music, a lot of new, especially jazz music, and it just depends on how something hits me when I'm listening to it. And sometimes if I'm not in a mood to listen to mellow stuff and it's too much on the mellow side, then I'm like, I'm just not in the mood for that. Let me go on to something else. And I'll get into something that's just really intense, like this album here that I just reviewed. I listened to this and I was just blown away. I was like, man, this dude can play drums, and everybody on this just is unbelievable players. And again, these are his own recording, like his own. He's writing his own compositions. So this Stefan Gand, I just did a review on this a couple days ago. Needle Drop, unbelievable. I think it's a great record. But is anybody ever going to know about this? Is anybody going to do a review on it? Probably not. So stuff like that, and again, I just came across this record just by listening at night. I'm like, oh man, I can't sleep. And I scroll on my phone and I'm like, oh, what's this? And I'm like, oh man, this is kick ass. This is pretty awesome. And I'll put it on my list. And then again, when it comes up, I'll pick it up if it goes on sale, or if I really like it, I'll just go buy it if I have the money. But stuff like that really gets me excited. And then if just one of you guys out there that watches the channel sees this record and you go buy it, that just makes me happy, because it's like, man, somebody else is really digging this record too. And And then that person can go tell somebody else, and then somebody else could be like, oh, have you heard this new record? And it just, I don't know, it's just kind of how I grew up, you know, with music. It's just sharing all cool records with people and that kind of thing. So, all right, well, we're going on over, what are we at, 79 minutes. So again, I appreciate you guys hanging out, and leave your comments. If you don't put anything in the live chat, be sure to go in the comment section and leave your request on what you want me to review, and I'll, for what $100 can buy, I will pick. I'll pick one of these three that you've given me here. I'll definitely be getting one or two of those, and then let me know what else there is. And again, if it doesn't have to be jazz, it could be anything. If there's a good rock record, I'll go check out the Robot God thing and see what that is. Again, I'm always looking for new releases. So, are you any new releases you guys recommend before I go? Anything new else that you guys have purchased that, or are you guys pretty much buying a lot of the reissue stuff? I like to know what percentage. I like to see if there's got to be a way to find out, like, out of all of the record purchases, how many are reissues and how many are new releases. Now, you probably got to cut out the Taylor Swift stuff and the Dua Lipa and all that kind of stuff. You know, the people are buying and they're printing 30,000 of those 40,000, 50,000 records or whatever. But regular pressings, I'm curious to know what the percentage is between reissues and actual new releases. And that would be even more interesting to look at just the jazz purchases, which only makes up like 4% of all record sales. I think it's 4% is jazz. It'd be interesting to know how many are reissues that are being bought and how many are actual new releases. So if I had to guess, I would say probably out of all jazz records, vinyl records that are sold, if I had to guess, I'd say probably 70% of them have got to be probably reissues. But I'm just throwing that out there as a guess. Smile. Oh yeah, I've heard them. Yeah, they're kind of more of a jam band kind of type sound, a little bit heavier. I've listened to a little bit of them, so I'll have to go back and check out. They've got a couple records out, right? The Smile. They've got maybe 2 or 3 albums out now. So I'll check them out again. I haven't listened to them in a while. All right, well, I guess I'll go ahead and close out the video. 3 albums out. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'll probably close out the video, though. I appreciate you guys coming by and, again, supporting the channel. I really appreciate you guys participating and leaving your comments. And without you guys watching, there'd be no channel. So I really thank you guys for coming by and hanging out and listening to great music with me. And please check out the interviews. Oh, man, I wish I would get more views on the interviews. You know, a lot of people aren't as popular, and Simon Phillips, I had him on. He had a lot more views than some of the others, obviously, because he's very well known. But there's these other people I'm interviewing are phenomenal jazz musicians, and the new records are sounding fantastic. And I get like 100 views on some of these interviews, and I'm like, man, please, I just want you guys to share these with other people so they can find out about these new artists. So again, I appreciate you guys, and we will see you on the next video. Happy listening to everybody out there. All right, take care.